I'd like to call the meeting to order. Could I have a roll call?
Elsley.
Here.
Blunier.
Here.
Dow.
Here.
Hare.
Here.
Herman. Kaufman. Here. You have a quorum.
Pledge allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We have no public hearings, but we do have a special presentation. Chief?
As many of the board know, at the second meeting here in May, we honor members of our auxiliary force, and we do that around Police Week. We honor them for the volunteer service that they give our community. Back in 2004, they started a volunteer service award, a Presidential Volunteer Service Award for those that volunteer 100 hours or more. We happen to have 12 members of our auxiliary organization that earn this. Half of them were able to make the meeting tonight. I will first give the names and the hours served by those that were unable to attend tonight. Joe Eberly, 126 hours. Charles Frost, 144 and 1/2 hours. Todd Glasscock, 159 and a half hours. Keith Schroeder, 115 and a half hours. Joe Stidman, 135 hours. And Norman Webb at 101/4 hours. The auxiliary unit as a whole had 2,264 and 1/2 volunteer hours for the community. And that's quite an extent for us. The 6 members that are here, I would ask them to all come up, get a certificate and a pin from the mayor, and then stay up here together after your award. Dennis Batzik, 113 and a half hours. Michael Drawhan, 106 and 1/2 hours.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Nick Gilmore, 103 and 1/2 hours. Richard Scott, 101 hours. Bob Willis, 142 hours. And last but not least, the captain of the organization, Craig Zare, with 113 and 1/2 hours. Again, over 2,000 hours they've given to the community of volunteer hours. It's quite an accomplishment for them. I know Susan has a lot of events that they assist in. Some of those are paid, but not all of them. Some of the other things that they do for the volunteers is training hours, their monthly business meetings. They are our first line of defense for severe weather. They're all trained storm spotters, and then just a lot of other time that they do policing our new range and keeping that clean and maintaining all of our vehicles down at the Penn Street. So again, I'd like to thank them all.
Is there anyone that would like to make a public comment? Is there anyone in the audience that would like to pull anything from the consent agenda, which includes bills and minutes? Would any of the trustees like to pull anything from the consent agenda? If not, could I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second. Any questions? Call it, please.
Elsley.
Yes.
Blunier.
Yes.
Dobb.
Yes.
Hare.
Yes.
Herman.
Yes.
Kaufman. Yes.
I have nothing tonight. Village clerk,
Nothing tonight, Your Honor.
village administrator,
Nothing tonight, Your Honor.
chief of police.
Just one thing on information, Your Honor. At the last meeting, I had told you that there had been a rescheduling of our bike rodeo because of inclement weather to May the 7th. Unfortunately, it rained that day too. And at that time, I didn't have an update for the Relay for Life for their change schedule. Both of them are going to be this Saturday, the 21st, and right now, the weather looks like it should be okay.
Anything else?
No, sir.
Corporate counsel could not be with us tonight, and the director of fire and emergency services taking training tonight. So I will turn it over to the director of public works.
I have several items tonight, Your Honor. First is item A, resolution number 0216, a resolution authorizing an improvement by the municipality under the Illinois Highway Code. This is in reference to Detroit Avenue. Yes, this is the third try. I apologize for the inconvenience. I didn't use their form on the last one, so we had to go through the process again. So,
Motion?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Call it, please.
Blunier.
Yes.
Dobb.
Yes.
Hare.
Yes.
Herman.
Yes.
Kaufman. Yes. Elsley.
Yes.
next is item B, acceptance of bid for street improvements. This is East Jefferson, Fernwood, South Illinois Avenue in the amount of $875,364.47, and award of contract for same to R.A. Cullen and Son. If you go to your budget, I've kind of included a few of the jobs together. So this still is under budget. So with that, I'd be glad to answer questions.
So moved.
Second.
Second by Son. Any more discussion? Call it, please.
Dobb.
Yes.
Hare.
Yes.
Herman.
Yes.
Kaufman. Yes. Elsley.
Yes.
Blunier.
Yes.
Next is item C. I'd like to ask for permission to request bids for public works vehicles and trucks as budgeted for 2016.
Motion.
So moved.
Second.
Second by Son. Any discussion?
I would add that there are 3 trucks here, one for the street department, budgeted amount $30,000, one for the gas department, our locating truck, that's budgeted $40,000, and then stormwater truck for $30,000.
Call it, please.
Hare.
Yes.
Herman.
Yes.
Kaufman. Yes. Elsley.
Yes.
Blunier.
Yes.
Dobb.
Yes.
Next is item D, and as you flip the page, item E kind of goes hand in hand, so if you approve one, we almost need to approve the other. But item D is acceptance of bid for water treatment plant chlorination modifications for plants 1, 2, and 3 in the amount of $326,929, and award of contract for same to G.A. Rich and Sons. This is significantly more than what we anticipated as we got into it. I do have in the audience Scott Desplinters, project manager for Crawford, Murphy and Tilley, and Bob Burton. If you have any questions, obviously with the EPA involved, we ran into a lot more things, but I think we're confident we're on the right track here and should see some significant improvements.
Can I have a motion for D and E together? Is that okay with D and E? Both you?
Yes.
Yes.
Moved to second, okay. Any questions? Call it, please.
Herman.
Yes.
Hoffman.
Yes.
Elsley.
Yes.
Blunier.
Yes.
Dobb.
Yes.
Hare.
Yes.
I would like to read E. Did you want me to read E, Mr. Mayor?
The whole thing?
Well, I don't have to read the whole thing, but I just wanted to add the reason why it's separated, and that the grand total for that's $423,023, and basically we elected to basically solicit proposals from the vendors that we wanted to work with due to basically past, mostly Bob and the guys' past experience with them, but really to expedite the process or the project. Obviously, we have a major water user that starts up in August, September, and we really want to get this done in time for that as we start to shut down plants to make these modifications and to hopefully save some money. So those six that total $423,023.
Okay.
All right. Next is item F, acceptance of proposal for maintenance yard improvements at the wastewater treatment plant number 2 at Broadway and 4th in the amount of $201,290 from Opperly and Mike Yorty Excavating.
Motion. Second.
Second.
Sam, second. Discussion?
We're not going out for competitive bids because of the time frame involved here?
Yeah, I sent some emails. Obviously, this is dependent on the I-74 project. The controlling item is the topsoil that they need to place out there. They're tight on the time frame to get that job done. So this project, and you've got a drawing in front of you, is basically to grade this site. A couple weeks. Michael Yorty is on site. He now works for Opperly. He's on site as part of the disinfection project. He's already done some of the earthwork out there. So this would complete it and be able to allow Weber to come on site and remove and haul off topsoil. And then in return back, we'll get the aggregate basically to place down, which is the gray highlighted area on your drawing. But when this job's done, there'll basically be an aggregate rock yard. We'll probably try to cap it with millings, asphalt millings, but for the most part, it'll be seeded, topsoil. It'll be a final product basically when we're done.
Motion?
So moved.
Sam?
We already have the
Pardon?
motion. Do we
Do we
already
have
have a
one already?
motion on that one?
Right.
Okay.
Okay.
Same guys, anyone?
Kaufman. Yes. Elsley.
Yes.
Blunier.
Yes.
Dobb.
Yes.
Hare.
Yes.
Herman.
Yes.
And lastly, in your packets is the Public Works recap for the month of April.
Any questions on the recap? There being none,
That's all I have tonight, Your Honor.
thank you. Is that all?
That's it.
Planning and zoning,
Nothing tonight, Your Honor.
trustee Belsley.
Just information to update the board. I recently heard from the project manager with the Miller Valentine Group. They're the developers. You'll recall that's repurposing the former Apostolic Christian Nursing Home. They spent the better part of this past year and approximately $12 million on renovating it into a senior living retirement community. And anyone that's been by it recently, and I pretty much go by it almost daily, it's really a nice project, what it's turning out to be, and will certainly be a nice addition to that neighborhood, that part of Morton, and certainly to the community at large. But they're very excited and pleased with the initial response they're getting. They're going through pre-leasing right now with the first resident supposed to be moving in July. And then there's a grand opening celebration open house that will be held sometime in September. So just an update there, and again, it'll be a nice addition to Morton and certainly a nice residential housing option for the Morton area. That's it.
Trustee Blunier.
Yes, I have tourism grant recommendations for 2016 given to us by Susan. Thank you, Susan. There is one change that we'd like to make, and Trustee Kaufman was asking that we make a little bit of a change for the marching band competition, and he had some good reasons. Could you share those reasons?
Well, why don't we make the motion and then we'll talk about it probably?
Okay.
Can we make the motion for the $88,245, but increase that $2,500 for the marching band? So the total would be $90,745.
Okay, let's do that.
And so we have a first and second motion.
Who seconded?
I second it.
Okay.
The reason for that is the initial $10,000, which we did for years for the marching band, was set up so that they could take some of that money and pay for the band transportation to come here. It was an invited band. They wanted the best from Chicago area and different areas, and it cost $700 to about $1,200 to ship them so that they could help pay for some of that cost to get them here. And as a result, we've got state champions, 6 years in a row, and it seems like we're spending money for baseball, softball, golf. And I just thought we gave them $5,000 last year. I see no reason to cut them. They were asking for $5,000 this year. And we have kids that get, I'm sure, college degrees and different things and grants for that. And I just thought we should support the band and leave that at the $5,000, because the initial intent was to make that one of the best band marching competitions in the state.
Also, just, we were included, I think, 4 of the 10 or so of the scorecards on this in the packet. If, I just would like to see the other ones in there, and I'm sure Julie could, or Susan could give me those scorecards, because I'd like to see those.
I don't think the band brings in any of the overnight stays, the restaurants, they come and go, that's it.
Right, but that was
So
never.
why should, that was the purpose of tourism dollars, was to bring people in and spend money.
Right,
Not
but
just
they
to give
do-
a gift.
But they do bring in, their projection is 32,000 of economic impact.
I don't see it, but
Mrs. Piles, do you have a comment?
I have no problem. I think the reason, let me go to the microphone. On their score sheet, they did not, had not presented us with a follow-up report, and so they lost points on that, so that's why their score is lower. But I have no problem with us giving them the benefit of the doubt and supporting their program. And I'm sure if we had a conversation with them, kind of explain, you have to give us a follow-up report, you have to have this paperwork in order, that they would be able to comply with that. So I have no objection to us having an increase on that.
but what we're doing is we're paying people from out of town to come to town. We're paying them to come here. That's what it
Well,
amounts
that-
to.
I don't know for sure if they're continuing that, but that was the idea of it. I'm sure they are. But the whole idea was to set the band up to be one of the best ones. And it seems like we're taking money and giving it to golf. They went from 7 to 10 in that. When we have a marching band in the village of Morton that is state champions continuously, the better the competition, the better the bands.
That's true, but all the other teams compete in the tournaments and the contests they provide. The Morton band don't even compete in their own contests because they can't. So I don't know what it does to make them better. And they will admit that, they don't compete in their own contest.
I think part of the discussion that we had was that last year they received $5,000, and this year they didn't fill out the paperwork correctly and didn't dot some i's and cross some t's, and so they were reduced based on the scorecard. So I don't think they're going to be doing anything any less or any more than they did before, and we're just trying to make sure that they have what they're expecting in terms of compensation.
Well, I agree with that, but if you don't fill out your taxes right this year, you'll learn for next year.
Absolutely.
Susie, there was some statement that they bring a certain amount of money to the community.
They do hold this during Pumpkin Festival, and some of the children that participate go to the Pumpkin Festival. They do not create a lot of hotel rooms, but for our support, the money that they make within this competition is used for our band in the activities and things that they do throughout the year. This is one of their largest fundraisers. So that's why we've always supported that.
Any other questions concerning the band? Any other questions concerning the rest of the recommendations?
I guess my only comment would, I mean, I appreciate everything, the entire discussion, is undermining or overruling the committee that was tasked with reviewing this. If they felt strongly about this, and I wasn't at the meeting, I mean, I don't know, I'm not privy to that, but,
Well, my comment is that the committee, for some reason, reduced them because they didn't properly
Right.
do what they were supposed to, so we're going to reward them for bad behavior by saying, well, that's okay, we'll give you the same amount anyhow? Or will they learn from this lesson?
I think Susan agreed to have a conversation with them about what caused the situation to ensure that it doesn't, and perhaps next time,
Yeah.
if they don't, then they don't receive the funds.
I think that we look at this as a partnership on all of our events, on how we can be at the village as a partner with them to make good things happen in our town. And almost every one of well, I would have to say everyone, that if we have an issue about something, I go and have a conversation with the organizers, and they're all willing to do what we've asked. Sometimes that falls through the cracks because most of these are run by volunteers. So they usually do what we ask them to do.
I believe in second chances, and, if you've, talked to them, I mean, just make it clear that that is part of the requirement, and
Yeah.
it costs them points, and, it is a competition to receive the funds,
Right.
and we would just encourage them to comply with the request.
And I'll remind everybody, we spend $5,000 a year for fireworks, and the economic impact is $6,000. And they're projecting 20 overnight stays and $32,000 to the state champion band.
Let's vote.
Any other questions on the grants? Call it, please.
Are we going to vote on the adjustment of the one line item first?
Well, I made
You have
that
to
part
do
of my
that
motion.
Separately? He made it.
I made that all one
That's all
motion.
part of.
Yeah, I made it a full motion of $90,745,
Okay.
and that's a $2,500 increase
Okay,
of what they're asking.
I thought you were the second and Mr. Blunier was the,
No, I was the first, and Mr. Blunier was the second.
That is correct.
Elsley,
Yes.
Blunier,
Yes.
Dobb.
I'm going to vote yes with the caveat that I still can't see rewarding somebody for not doing what they were supposed to do. The committee saw fit to approve it this way because they didn't do it, but I don't want to harm anybody else that was on there. So I'll vote yes.
Yes, with no caveats.
Yes, but not a happy camper.
0C.
Hare,
Yes, with no caveats.
Yes.
Kaufman,
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Trustee Dobb,
Nothing.
trustee Hare.
Just one item to bring the board up to speed on is that here recently, we did lose the Morton at the Chamber of Commerce and the EDC, Brian Anderson, it did move on, and we were able to find an incredible replacement. So I would encourage all of you to meet Leanne Brown at any chance. She's is there working. She had her first full week last week. And I think you're going to find an incredible advocate for the community of Morton. And I really look forward to working closely with her on several different projects. But just as a board, feel free to get in touch with her and talk to her. I think we're excited about the opportunities that lie in front of us, and she's going to be the kind of that great driving force behind it. So I'm very encouraged by that.
I've worked with Leanne on the Peoria Area Convention Visitors Bureau Board, which she chairs this year. She was vice chair last year. She's an incredible energetic person full of wonderful ideas, and I'm very excited for us as a community to have her here.
Anything else, Sam?
That is it.
Trustee Herman?
Nothing tonight, Your Honor.
Trustee Kaufman?
Nothing tonight, Your Honor.
We're going to go into closed session. I will let everyone in the audience know that we do not anticipate coming out and voting on anything, so you may leave. I would ask the chief of police to stay, and Craig Loudermilk and the administrator. Everybody else can leave if they wish. Could I have a motion to go into closed session?
So moved.
Second.
Second by Sam. Moved by-
Can't do anything in there.